got a really cute little devil for you today. This is a piece based on one of my 100-day project artworks for my sweet as heck patrons. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, I'd like to say a quick hello. Lovely to see you again. Thanks for checking in and thanks for stopping by and having a look at this video. My name is Sophie. If you don't already know me, it's lovely to meet you. I'm an artist and I'm based in Victoria, Australia. I am a long-time lover of inks as a medium. I think if you were to put me on a desert island and make me choose one art supply for the rest of my life, I would probably choose ink. That's a really hard decision because I like a lot of mediums. And I've been really enjoying acrylic gouache lately more than anything, but I always seem to go back to inks, and every time I use ink I just have such a lovely time. I love the vibrancy of the pigments. I love watching how the different colours react to each other and bleed with each other. I love how rich the colours are, just so rich. Even the blacks are rich. I love the way they mix. I love the way they layer. So fun. Just so fun. It's a bit of a difficult medium to get the hang of sometimes. And sometimes if I haven't used ink for a while and I come back to it, I'm like, oh, how do I do this again? So I have to kind of a little bit relearn it every time I get back to it. I'm not loyal to any brand whatsoever. I just sort of pick up what I like the look of. I tend to go for artist quality inks which don't include ingredients like shellac. So I like it when the inks are really watery and really light instead of the kind of thicker, gluggier ones. Usually when they're transparent, that's what I like. When they're opaque, they're a little thicker, they're a little harder to use when you're using like a dip pen. Brushwork, it's fine, but I just like the consistency and the look of non-shellac or non-like thickened ink. So for example, Winsor & Newton do a really nice one. I love Quink ink. Ecoline is also really good, and Japanese calligraphy inks in general. The brush I'm using is, honestly, I have no idea where it came from. It's a bit of a no brand one, but it's lovely. It's not particularly made for ink or this or that or whatever. It's just one that I've been enjoying lately. I just used, like I said before, I use whatever I like, whatever feels good, whatever is cheap or on special at the time. Nothing too extravagant or anything like that. So it's just a nice brush with a rounded edge and kind of tips to the end. So it's really nice for really fine points. And you can also use it to fill in great big spaces as well. Paper I'm using is Fabriano 300 GSM cotton paper, I think it was, which has a little bit of a tooth to it, but not too much. And I really love the way it takes the ink. It doesn't bleed or anything. It's just like, it just sits on the paper beautifully like they're best friends. And my initial under sketch is just a really light sketch using a Prismacolor pencil. A little later in the video you see me using a new dip pen. It's from the brand Kakimori Tokyo. It's a Japanese brand, really beautiful brass tip nib and a nib holder. Yeah, I'll talk more about that when I get to it. So, why am I drawing a little wee devil? I don't know. Actually, I do know. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a live stream by the wonderful Ambered on Twitch, and she was drawing a demon girl, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I don't know what to draw. I'm going to draw a demon as well. And it just turned into a little devil. And yeah, I was kind of thinking about, you know, those old school rubber hose demons that you saw in, like, you know, the original cartoons. And they're all kind of cute, a little bit like Cupid doll-ish and Cupid-ish, so I wanted to do a little version of that, kind of just being coy and cute and curled up with its little devil tail, just looking cheeky, thinking naughty things. Like I said before, I did it for my 100-day project / challenge that I'm doing myself, that I'm working on, and I loved it so much that I wanted to make it into a bigger artwork with a bit of a background and that sort of thing. And I was sort of thinking also about, you know, vintage birthday cards, strawberry shortcake era, late 80s, early 90s cards where they had this, I don't know how to explain it, like just a graphic background with like leaves cut out, and I don't know, it was just color wise, everything, it just felt like that kind of vibe to me. I have no idea if you know what I'm talking about, but that was the feeling I was kind of going for. It just looked like an old greeting card from the early 90s or late 80s of a cartoon character or something like that. So it was kind of, yeah, my thing with it. And I made it holding a big love heart because little demons, little devils are like kind of also associated with Valentine's Day in my head. I don't know if it really is in real life or not. But yeah, just like cute little devil in love with big love hearts everywhere. And also I wanted to use red ink, and I wanted to use little motifs in the artwork that were red as well. And also to kill two birds with one stone, make like a Valentine's style artwork, because I've never done a Valentine's Day style artwork, so maybe I'll use that for Valentine's Day next year, we'll see. If you don't know about the 100-Day Project, Google it. It was conceived by artist Lindsay Jean Thompson. Just have a look, 100dayproject.org, I'm pretty sure it is. That's where I got the idea. I saw the hashtag floating around on Instagram and I was like, that's a great idea. I've seen lots of people do 365 days of whatever project they're working on, and that seemed a bit too much for me. So when I saw this 100-day project pop up, I'd seen it a few times floating around over the years, but this time I was ready for it, so I jumped on board and I cut out 100 pieces of really thick, beautiful, like 600 GSM watercolor paper that I had pre-painted and pre-splashed and pre-blobbed with gouache, cut them down into little squares, and yeah, I've just been drawing on them every day. Not every day. For a while it was every day, but it's sort of come down to a couple of weeks now these days. But that's the cool thing about the 100-day project. It's not structured. It's not meant to make you feel stressed about making things. So you're meant to do it daily, but sometimes that's not realistic, and that's okay. It's not no one's gonna like hold you down and yell at you and tell you off about not doing it every day. So yeah, while I was in Chile during March, I managed to somehow do it every day, which is just blows my mind. I don't know how I did that. And then for some reason, now that I'm home, I haven't been able to keep on top of it. That's okay. But anyway, if you want to follow my journey with the 100-Day Project, jump onto Insta. I post about it, not every day, but sometimes / most days. And by the end of it, I plan on making a lovely big video and some sort of product or prints or book or fabric or quilt or whatever to go with them. But yeah, enough about that. So that was sort of the illustration I did was for that originally. And yeah, so the sticker that's gonna go with this Patreon reward is a scan from the 100-Day Project piece, rather than this finished ink artwork that I'm doing now. It's very cute. It's very, very cute. You have until the end of June to sign up. So you have to sign up within June 2023 to get the goods. Check the link below, the Patreon link below, if you want to know more about it. But yeah, it's been one of my favorite rewards lately. Very excited about it. It's very cute. coming to the dip pen portion of the video, instead of doing something with really perfect straight lines, I wanted to keep it quite like textured and loose. So this is kind of it used to be against all of my terms and conditions doing chicken scratches, but I was like, I'm gonna try do chicken scratch line texture. So I sort of did a little bit chicken scratch. Chicken scratch just means you kind of go back and forth a lot to make your line work. And I like the texture of it. I think it's really fun. It's kind of reminds me of 60s illustrations, or it's just loose. It's just fun. And I used a really, really dark blue ink. It looks black, but it's actually really, really dark blue. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with that scratchy texture for outlines instead of a nice perfect outline. I did a few tests on my test piece of paper beside me, and because I hadn't waited like bajillion years for the ink to be completely dry, some of the dip pen drawing lines that I did on my test piece of paper kind of bled a little bit, and I was like, if I'm going to be doing outlines, I don't want any bleedy bits. So I thought, instead of just like waiting for the ink to completely 100% dry, I wait for it to 80 to 90% dry, and then just chicken scratch all over it, so it doesn't matter if it gets a little bit bleedy, because you won't really notice it because of the texture, because the texture's hiding it. So the dip pen itself, if you don't know what a dip pen is, it's literally what it sounds like. You just dip it into the ink and then draw. So this one has these little grooves etched into the side of the nib, and that's basically where your ink sits, and then it streams out as you draw, which is really lovely. And then you just dip back when you need it, and you can see it visually. You can see when the ink is running out, which is nice, and you can feel it. You can see that it's running out. This dip pen's great because you can do the most incredibly intricate fine lines, and you can also do really thick lines. I did on my little test piece of paper, I had fun trying to figure out the different line weights and that sort of thing. So doing this artwork was the first time I ever used this particular dip pen, but I had used a lot of dip pens in the past, so I kind of knew how they worked. Maybe you've seen me use the glass dip pens over the years. They've been really fun. So it's essentially the same thing. It's just a different medium, a different material, a different whatever. And I usually hate metal things. I hate the look of metal. I hate the feel and the texture, and just I don't know, it just gives me the yuckiness. So that's why I've always gravitated towards glass dip pens, because one, I love glass, I love see-through stuff, I love pens. So 1, 2, 3. But when I saw the existence of this dip pen, it's just so beautiful, and it came in like a brass rather than like a titanium or silvery metal, whatever it is. So I got it for myself as a little gift. Lovely little pen that I've been really enjoying using. It's not cheap though. It's a splurge. It's a splurge gift to myself. I had been working really damn hard for the last couple of months, and I don't buy nice things for myself very often, so it was my little gift to myself for doing well, working all the hard works. Sometimes I just gotta treat myself to some cute little dip pens. So I've recently moved house. You should keep your eyes peeled for a new vlog coming out pretty soon. It's just like a month-long vlog of me moving house and doing the big design market all at exactly the same time, which was great. Now I'm sick. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit of a sickling right now, but that's okay. It's just forcing me to stay at home and rest. And this was the first artwork I have done in my brand new house. And I really, really enjoyed painting in this space, in this studio space which I've set up. You'll see in the vlog a little bit of studio arrangement, studio tour thing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But it was nice to sit down finally and make an artwork in my new space. So we're getting to the end of the making of this piece, and I hope you really liked it. I hope you enjoyed the juicy close-ups. I haven't been able to find my regular vlogging camera since moving here. I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea where it is. It's where. I wish it would let me know. So this was all actually filmed on my iPhone, so I'm sorry if the quality isn't like as lovely as usual, but you know, you gotta work with what you've got at your fingertips. This is what you get as a patron in the Orange Bird tier for this month. They will be posted out at the beginning of next month. So yeah, get in during June if you want this goodie pack. Vinyl sticker, double-sided mini print. On the other side of the mini print is like a compilation of my sketchbook scribbles and color palettes and stuff, which I made leading up to making the final artwork. So that's a bit of fun. Yeah, and a great big burn and love heart hug to my sweet patrons. You cute little devils. I love the heck out of you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for being here and watching my video. If you made it to the end, biggest kisses to you. Leave a little devil emoji in the comment section if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Lots of kisses. Mwah. Love ya. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.